A tour bus driving along suddenly stops by the roadside, and the driver falsely claims that the vehicle has broken down and needs some repairs, asking the elderly passengers to wait a moment. Just as the driver opens the hood of the car, the sly Jimmy, who has been waiting, walks over. He hands the driver a bill, and the driver gives him only 5 minutes. For the smooth-talking Jimmy, that's more than enough time, as all the elderly passengers are from a retirement home. To quickly gain the client's trust, Jimmy finds a shortcut to success. With his humorous and witty speech, he quickly closed the distance with the customers. It must be said that Jimmy is definitely a genius in the sales industry, and he finally achieved his goal as he wished. All the elderly people in the car cooperated with Jimmy to submit their requests. In this way, Jimmy managed to get more than 200 customers in just 3 weeks. The boss Clifford praised him highly. Others listened to Jimmy's work report very seriously, but only Chuck questioned Jimmy's behavior. He thought that Jimmy could handle more than 20 clients in one trip, which would likely make the defense suspect that there was incitement. Jimmy denied this. Chuck said that he just wanted to hear how Jimmy would explain if he encountered such a situation. However, how could this be difficult for the clever Jimmy? He just made up a lie that sounded like the truth to others, but Chuck knew Jimmy's tricks. Jimmy saw that Xiao Jin was a little unhappy, so he communicated privately. But Xiao Jin did not respond to him. He realized the seriousness of the problem and then interrupted others and said that he agreed with Chuck's point of view. He would change his way of doing things next time, so as not to make others suspect that he would instigate. After that, he immediately looked at Xiao Jin's reaction, hoping to get his forgiveness. After the meeting, Xiao Jin still had no news, so Jimmy hurriedly chased him. Xiao Jin asked Jimmy to tell the truth, and Jimmy said that he just did what he should do, and also got good results. Obviously, Jimmy didn't realize his mistake. He risked being disqualified as a lawyer. Xiao Jin warned him not to handle work in this way again, because Jimmy was able to go to DM law firm, because Xiao Jin guaranteed him. If Jimmy did something out of line, it would mean that Xiao Jin would be affected. When Jimmy returned to DM law firm, the assistant reported that they had sent letters to more than 200 clients, but not a single one responded. It was obvious that the confidential nursing home intercepted the letters. Jimmy quickly came up with a plan to deal with it. When he got off work, he stopped his boss, who was about to go home, and reported his speculation to him. Not only that, Jimmy also provided a solution, which is to let customers get information through TV ads. And Jimmy has already mastered the TV programs that will be played to customers at a certain time. Jimmy is confident in this plan, but Clifford said that they had done an example of advertising a few years ago, and the effect was not ideal, but he did not completely deny Jimmy's idea, and said that he would pay attention to this matter next week. Jimmy asked his men to release the ads they had placed before, but they did not expect that it was just a text plus broadcast method. The biggest highlight is the ripple effect, Jimmy said helplessly. What kind of advertisement is this? Where is the acting skill? He decided to do the advertisement in his own way, so Jimmy invited a college student who had worked with him before, who was a photography major. Jimmy, who was born with the talent of directing, arranged the script of the advertisement. He expressed the effect he wanted, and he wanted the best effect with the lowest cost. Because the company did not approve the advertising fee, the actors who had to pay for it themselves were also found by clients he had helped before. After the advertisement was shot, Jimmy gave the finished film to Xiao Jin for review. Jimmy had Xiao Jin pretend to be a client from the retirement home to give genuine feedback on his feelings after seeing the ad. After watching the ad, Xiao Jin praised Jimmy's professional directing skills and said that if he were a client from the retirement home, he would definitely call him a client. However, Xiao Jin misunderstood Jimmy's intentions. He thought the ad proposal had already been approved by Clifford, and he was quite surprised by that. But Jimmy didn't correct Xiao Jin's misunderstanding and waited for the next day's group work. Jimmy hesitated about whether to show the ad to his boss for approval. He stood at the door of his boss's office with the ad in hand, then turned back, ultimately deciding to go ahead without approval. He made an urgent call to the advertising agency at the TV station and instructed his team to send out the ad immediately. During the waiting period, he felt a bit anxious, worried that the ad might not perform well. Looking at the character slipping on the wall hinted at Jimmy's potential downfall. He arranged for his team to be ready to answer calls, and then sat in his office, waiting for the moment the ad would air, but the phone hadn't rung yet. Jimmy started to work his usual magic. Sure enough, his ad paid off, and his colleagues began receiving calls from the retirement home clients one after another. However, that evening, while he was watching a movie at home with someone, his boss, Clifford, called. Jimmy thought it was a call to praise him, but instead, it turned out to be a reprimand. He expressed strong dissatisfaction with Jimmy's actions of going ahead without approval, and instructed him to bring the ad he made to the office first thing tomorrow morning. After saying that, he angrily hung up the phone. Jimmy didn't want Xiao Jin to know that he had been scolded by his boss, so he pretended to be in a good mood while talking to his boss, making sure Xiao Jin could hear him. Little did he know, trouble was coming his way.